Alright. Where's,
What's going on?
what's up, man?
Um, are we here for GammaStrike or are we here for UADA?
Both.
Can't wait. When's he coming out? 8:30, 9:30?
We're leveraging the, he's 10. 10 o'clock.
Ugh, gross.
Yeah.
Ugh. You know what I really want to do?
Tell me.
Release this to the billionaires.
Yeah, I noticed. I heard. You know how I could tell? You keep posting that meme of Sean Bean. Um, and it just says launch.
Wait, is that Sean Bean?
I think so.
No. That's that weird alien dude. I don't know. Are they the same? I don't know what that guy's name is.
Sean Bean is the guy who's like Boromir in Lord of the Rings, or the Ned Stark in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
not him.
that is. That's who you keep posting.
No,
Yeah.
that's the guy from the Alien show where he's just like, I don't want to say it was aliens, but it was aliens.
No, he's the guy from GoldenEye.
I hate this. I hate everything about this.
He was the bad guy in Patriot Games starring Harrison Ford.
Stop.
Yep, he plays the IRA guy.
Now I don't want to launch it because I quit.
Well, you can leave your
None of this is
penis
true.
with reception on your way out.
None of this is true.
It is.
Oh,
I don't know what the argument in here is. That's who you keep posting.
no. Hold on.
You can post it in chat.
That's what I'm going to do. I haven't posted it in a few days, so I got to go find it.
Yeah.
It's way up there. Where the hell is it? There we go. That's not
That's not
Sean
the one you
Bean.
were posting.
Yes, it is.
Hmm. That's the Ancient Aliens guy.
That's what I said.
No, you posted a different one. Or maybe it wasn't you. Maybe it was Nuke.
Maybe it was somebody else. Yeah, that's the one I've been posting obnoxiously. Everybody wants to ban me. Hold on, I have some ideas. I have some ideas for our marketing. What do you think about that one?
Oh, that's nice.
Right?
Yeah. This one. That's Sean Bean.
Yeah, but I've never posted that.
What the fuck?
You can see the good parts, dum. I left the crack like right in the middle of the
Yeah, Jay Fresh would never get rid of the bad part.
zoom
part.
in. It's there.
Shouldn't it be two smaller logos, one on each cheek?
No.
No.
I thought about that and decided against it.
So I got this like video of a male stripper dancing in like a cocksock kind of apparatus. And I tried to pin the Gamma logo to the tip of his wiener and just have it like windmill around. And I'm
Like
just
a
not
literal
I'm not just,
windmill Willie.
yeah, like I'm just not a good video editor. Did you make that one?
Yeah. I figured what better way to like usher in the new age of the old age. I've got a bunch of them. I think they're awesome. I think we're going places. I think they're going to resonate.
At least our meme culture is on point. Oh my god, you really did make a bunch of them.
I did.
I like the butthole one.
Yeah.
That's good.
Gotta have a butthole.
Yeah.
So nobody has any questions. We're just here for you, Ada. That's cool.
Yeah, it's just like me and you shooting the shit till, Oh, hey, look at that, a person.
Oh, sick.
Hello,
How
STD
you guys
slot
doing?
machine.
I'm doing good.
Hanging in there.
Doing good. So, question, and it's regarding something with GammaStrike.
Okay.
So, on one of the stocks that's been having a crazy run, CEG, IV10 is like it's like well, HV10 is like all the way at 139. What?
Hold on. Which one?
On CEG. It's been on like a crazy run this last week, just because of all the energy news. Yeah. And so I'm not sure how to interpret that. I mean, that crazy spike in HV10.
Well, the crazy spike in HV10 says it's been going up a lot for 10 days.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's easy then.
It's all neat. It just looks at the average. Well, it's not quite the average, but it looks at the volatility of the last 10 days.
Okay.
So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, it started running 10 days ago. So actually, there was a huge jump. So HV10 might actually go down in the next day or two.
Yeah,
once that
that's
huge
kind of...
jump rolls off.
Yeah. You can usually expect like volatility to rise as historic vol starts to fall.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if their options chain is going to be that liquid. It doesn't look like it's super responsive historically. But maybe more so like out on like the 30-day IV.
I mean, they've got $2 billion in delta, so they're like a real stock now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 350.
At the beginning of 2024, they had like nothing, like 50-60 million dollars in delta. So there's some interest there.
Okay, yeah. That was really my only question. I just wasn't sure how to interpret that because I was so off the chain.
Yeah, try to remember that historic vol is always going to be, the open close volatility for the prior X number of days. So whether 10, 30, 60, whatever you pick. And so, when you get a big move in the underlying, you're gonna see historic vol shoot up. And then implied volatility is going to be the forward pricing of the vol.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah, it looks like 350 is the big strike left for it to ascend to.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I've been playing on the call side ever since they busted 300. Just because if you looking back on the days
tomorrow, and then there's nothing. So
yeah, I'm honestly probably getting out of the calls tonight because I already got the put hedge and I may just play the downside.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
We'll see. All right, well, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, the put side's got much longer dated stuff, so yeah, it looks like after tomorrow, everybody wants it to go straight down into FABOFX. If all of these puts are sold, which Yeah.
They probably are. Huh.
That's a fun one.
Yeah. Yeah. He's been talking about it for a while. Oh, we got Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Screen share's not working on YouTube. Let me try to fix that. There we go. Thanks. Sorry, no mic. No worries. On Tuesday, Jan 21, 1:40 p.m., you said, "See how there's no support under spot? Can you explain how you use GammaStrike to make that assumption? Here's a screenshot from what was on your screen at the time. Sorry, no mic." Oh, just the gamma. I mean, look at the, if you go on the right side of the screen, and you look at the gamma at each strike, and you look at 60/50, and then look how rapidly gamma falls off, going down to like 60/25 before it turns negative. That's it.
Sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah, I was super busy today. What the hell happened at the end of the day?
Oh, we finally rocketed up to where the bulls were trying to push the price all fucking day. I started telling people like market open, like bulls are gonna like push for 61.15, and it just took them all day to like work up the leverage to push up over the sold calls.
Holy shit. Is this right? Call premium is almost 1.2 billion and put premium was less than 300 million.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I haven't seen it that lopsided in a long time.
Yeah, no problem. If you look at the bottom of that screenshot right there, you can see just how rapidly, like where I have the mouse, right? There's like 11.7 million gamma. Is roughly right where spot is. Like gamma just falls right off to negative just below spot and then keeps going down to like 60/20. So the decline in gamma by each strike is very rapid, which generally means that like if price slips, you'll get like a big downside move because it picks up a lot of momentum very, very quickly. The Japanese CPI was hot as fuck. Holy shit, it was so hot. It was like 3.6.
Nice.
Yeah, it was brutal. Hold on. There's so inflation was 3.6, expected 3.2. Core was 3, expected 2.9. And then month over month inflation was 0.6.
Holy shit. That's fun.
Well, you don't need to focus on the steepness of the slope. The values are on the chart. So you can just mouse over them and see how much gamma falls off at each strike. Well, gamma exposure. That's total. The yellow line's the total gamma exposure at that strike.
What are we talking about?
Oh, the yellow line on the live chart.
Oh, yeah.
Like this thing. Down here.
Yeah, we might need to tweak that. I haven't vetted it, but it's, yeah.
So yeah, that's the MM's gamma exposure, and then that's the gamma at each strike there. Like the individual strikes gamma on the green line. And then the blue line is implied vol. The BOJ gonna lower rates to save the market, even though CPI is hot as fuck? They're not gonna lower rates. There's no chance that they cut at this meeting. The big thing is, do they take the risk and hike?
Well, why would they want to increase inflation by raising rates?
Well, they wouldn't. They would tone their inflation down. They want to increase the value of their currency relative to their inflation rate because their currency is worthless.
Yeah, but they're also going to be printing money by raising rates. Lots of it. I think this is just like what everybody doesn't get. With how much debt the world is in, and like all the governments are in.
Japan's not
Raising-
really in that position though. They're in a position where the value of their currency declining is increasing their debt burden more than inflation would.
Yeah, I mean,
Like the
they're-
U.S., it's totally different because our currency is like fucking sky high right now. But for Japan, I mean, they've already got a pretty big problem with their debt ballooning due to currency devaluation.
Yeah, if they can get their currency under control, but they haven't seemed to really care much about that.
I mean, they do. They've thrown like fucking $600 billion at it. That's just gotten poof. They've really tried. What they don't want to do is they don't want to just blow up all of the world's financial markets. But I'm not really sure that they have much of a choice.
Yeah, everybody's just trying to delay, and the longer you delay and hide a problem, the bigger it gets.
Yep, and the more over leveraged, which it's really bad
Yeah.
right now.
Everything's really bad right now.
I know.
I mean, all these brokers and stuff are coming out with these numbers about how much leverage all of their clients have, and it's like, yeah, that's gonna end well. It always does. This time is not different.
So we need to better understand the amount of gamma exposure by strike, like how much money is significant. Yeah, I mean, you'll get a feel for that on SPX. The values don't tend to differ too much. And the total exposure at each strike.
Uh-oh. You just muted yourself. Gherk got gherked. They gherked him. Yeah, so while he's talking to himself, yeah, with the gamma thing, if it's large and flat, then it's really hard to get over. But if it's like 0 and flat, then it's really easy to get over. So the flatness of it can mean many different things. Gherk's literally dead. Actually, there's a non-zero chance that his cat hit the power button on his power strip, because apparently it learned to do that like a month ago.
You hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, I could hear you the whole fucking time. I don't know what the hell happened. Yeah, so well, it's just where it's flat, it's easy to get over. So like if you have like a big pile of positive gamma that's like and you see something like that, right? And it's really, really like very steep from like spot. Say spots here. This initial part is really hard to move above. But once it gets up here, it's very easy for it to move to that strike. That's what happened actually today from like 6,100. If anybody was like watching this during the intraday, from like 6,100 to like 6,115, you had gamma kind of looked like it went up really high and then right across to 605 and then it dipped at 10. And then there was like a second peak. Well, it wasn't a higher peak, but there was like a second peak out here at 6115. And that's why 6115 was my target, because I knew if they could get it over that hump between 6100 and 6105, like it was just going to keep going up to that next higher peak. Because remember, end of day, whichever strike you're at, the gamma is going to increase exponentially. right? So when you get to 61, like when you get to 61.10 here, that gamma is going to become the spike. And then, and then this gamma is going to also move up at 61.15, higher than that. And so the shape of that will change relative to moneyness as price moves up. If that makes sense. You still there?
Now it's not showing up in here.
Oh.
There's no winning.
What's going on?
People are complaining that your drawings aren't showing up on YouTube.
What the fuck?
But yeah, I don't know how any of that works. It's all magic voodoo.
Well, it's because as the price starts moving, the gamma relative to the at the money moves up. And so the curvature, the curvature of the positive gamma as price moves to the upside changes, right? As those returns and convexity are realized and speed picks up. Is this working now?
What question are we even answering?
There we go. I don't know. We're just talking about the gamma thing. I got another question. As a follow-up gamma, what does that mean if the gamma is flatter between adjacent strikes? Well, it's just equivalent.
Clamps, you're still a weird dude. Good to see you around. What is the husk of a rate hike?
Oh shit.
Do I want to know?
Where the fuck is George? I see him in the chat.
He's drunk in Michigan City, Indiana.
Ew. Tell them I love them and I'm thankful for them. Oh god, he is drunk.
Yeah. He's literally, I can't think of anything worse. His holiday party for his company is in Indiana for some reason. And
all right, we got
5 days long.
3 people lined up, so let's get them going.
Oh, sweet. Let's run them through.
Lentil.
It's going to be a nice little human centipede we got going on here.
Yes. I just had a question on actually the first stock that SCD Slot Machine was talking about, CEG. Like, I noticed that the GEX was really positive, but I guess Delta was very negative. And unless I'm misunderstanding the chart, but I guess how is that possible? Is my question.
So the total delta value is just negative.
You're asking about DEX and GEX, not DEX SA or GEX SA?
No, just DEX and GEX.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So those are operating under the naive hedging assumption. All of this is in the documentation that I'm writing that will come out soon. I'm 5,000 words in. It's going to be a haul. Anyway, so the naive assumption assumes that the naive assumption was built for indices, where typically those go up and people are long those. And so what they do to enhance their long position is they will sell calls to get yield. They will buy puts to get insurance or protection to the downside. And so if you have a portfolio of options that are all bought puts and sold calls, that is a naive portfolio assumption, which means that the market maker is all long calls and short puts, right? And so they have a huge positive delta exposure. And so to hedge that, they have to sell a bunch of stuff. So they have to sell massive amounts of delta onto the market. And so their delta hedge is always negative under the naive assumption. So in that case, DEX is always negative. Now, GEX, if you think about GEX under the naive assumption, it will depend. It can be positive or negative. If you are down in the puts, where the market maker mostly has sold, is holding sold puts, right? Anything that you buy from a market maker, the market maker will have a negative gamma. And anything that you sell to the market maker will have a positive gamma. And so they have a big negative gamma down in the puts, and they have a big positive gamma up in the calls. And so the gamma will kind of just follow where you are in that landscape. And so right now we're like way up in the calls, at least for CEG. It's like rocketing. So all the gamma is on the calls, which we're assuming are sold. So it's positive gamma.
And then the skew adjusted becomes the opposite because of why.
Skew adjusted is weighted against the implied volatilities.
Yeah, so skew adjusted doesn't assume all calls are sold and all puts are bought. It tries to gauge, get some relative percentage of what's bought and sold for both of them, right? So what this is telling us with DEX, skew adjusted DEX and skew adjusted GEX, with the DEX skew adjusted, it's telling us that call IV is elevated. So a lot of that delta under the naive assumption that would be considered negative is actually positive. So what that's saying is a lot of those calls are bought.
I see.
And then if you go and look at the GEX essay, right? Well, if all those calls are bought and you're way up in the calls, remember, all bought options from a market maker are hedged. The market maker is negative gamma, and all options that are sold make the market maker positive gamma. So if we are assuming here with the skew adjusted that most of the calls are bought, now gamma for the market maker is negative.
I see. Okay.
So what all of this data is telling me is that the price is going up. But I mean, so how this is helpful going forward is so DEX is useful in telling you how much overall interest is on the stock, which is saying, hey, more and more people are opening contracts on these things and leveraging into it, right? You've gone from at the beginning of the year like 50 million out to 2 billion in delta, right? The interest has exploded on the stock. And then you look at DEXA and you see, okay, well, after Jan OPEX, a bunch of positive stuff fell off, and it looks like it's still going up. And most of that positive stuff that's left is expiring tomorrow, right? And you could make the argument that perhaps it might be an opportune time to try to play the reversal. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying that it sounds like SD slot machines strategy of playing the upside and then preparing for the downside is probably not terrible here. So, and where I'm pulling that additional data is the Greeks by Strike page, looking at the OI on the calls and clicking and seeing where those are expiring. So all of the calls like above us are all expiring. Most of them are expiring tomorrow. And if you look at a lot of the puts, they're expiring on February OPEX. So what you might think is sometime mid next week, this will reverse and start to go down into February OPEX. I don't think that's a terrible thesis. Unfortunately, with stocks like this, like once they start going up, you kind of don't know when they're going to peter out, right? I mean, the situation could change dramatically into next week. So you'd have to monitor and ensure that people aren't just piling in all over again. But at least as far as I can see now, it's not a terrible idea.
Like you can't just use Gamma Max as to like maybe do swing trading on it, because it could obviously it can change if more people pile in on it and continue higher.
Yeah, so you
Yeah,
saw that a little earlier in the year with it, right? And that like it rose up rapidly through Gamma Max. Gamma Max kind of came up and tested it. And then you would have wanted to have gotten pretty far out to get any kind of mean reversion back to like delta neutral. It took quite some time, but you could potentially, but you do want to be careful and ensure that, Gamma Max isn't going to just keep rising. One thing you might want to look at there is like look for gamma neutral and delta neutral to start to flatten out a bit. Right now they're just moving up with spot because all of the positioning is just going at the money, at the money, at the money, and it keeps rising and rising, right? Um, as that starts to like kind of tone down, you'll probably see things flatten out on the GN and DN, and that might be a better time to consider like a swing trade to the downside.
yeah. I mean, I would say it's very risky to assume it's going to reverse and go down because that's such a dramatic reversal. Although it could certainly happen. Things that go up quickly can go down quickly, but yeah, I agree with Gherk. I mean, I think it's probably more likely that it's gonna, if it goes down, it's gonna like drift down on a parachute of whatever's left. Or people could just pile it. So I would watch it. Monday or Tuesday, people could just pile right back in and go for another cycle up.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, with like sound, it was above Gamma Max for quite a while, like over a week, and then it came sort of like crashing down. But yeah, like I guess
That rip through crash down behavior is generally something that's more common in like small and mid caps. At least from my experience, if you get like something with a substantial amount of market cap, 20, 30, 40, 50 billion, you're gonna start to the higher you get, the more likely it is that what you're seeing is a repricing and not just, like some short vol squeezing off, like you see on more meme stocks like GME or Sound or, Beyond or whatever.
Okay.
Too soon.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, no problem, man. All right, we got Slot Machine back.
Hello, hello.
What's up, dude?
Sorry to be the one to be bringing up CG all over the place.
No worries.
It's just been fun to bounce. So I guess my question is more looking at the live data.
Mm-hmm.
And so kind of, I guess, trying to better understand what you were talking about before with the Gex exposure and like how like if it's a steeper ramp, it's harder to get up to, but then if you're up there and it's flat, it's easier to move across.
So we kind of, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, go. You keep going.
So would that course, if you were like at that like kind of like plateau top,
Mm-hmm.
and then would it be easy to go down the other side, like how you see that on 6130 to 6135? How it drops down more rapidly.
No, that's actually harder.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's no more gamma being gained to the upside there. It's falling off.
Oh, so it's harder to move between the strikes.
Yeah. So these strikes are like, it's very easy to kind of just slide between all three of them.
Yeah.
Where it's, just flat across the top here. So it'd be very easy to move from like 120 to 130, get rejected, fall back to 120. If 120 is lost, it will fall rapidly back to like 115. But 115 to 110, a little bit of a struggle. Gamma's got to go back up on the downside move, which puts upward pressure on the price. And so kind of difficult to move there. And yeah, that's kind of how that works. It's not very complex. if you're just trying to trade that as like a signal. But throughout the day, you have to keep in mind a few things. Gamma is going to move a lot throughout the day as we get closer and closer to expiration. And so, the shape, generally you'll have, your negative gamma strikes will be down here, and you'll have your positive gamma strikes up here. And, somewhere in there, you've got, one strike where things are crossing over, and that's, where your gamma flip point is, right? And for the 0 DTE chain, this is your negative gamma environment. And, this is your positive gamma environment. And so the behavior of the market maker between those two environments is going to shift, right? That, the market maker is selling the downtick here, they're buying the downtick here. So the structure of how the MM supports the at the money market changes relative to those flip points. And that's why sometimes, they're either A, defended so heavily, or B, you notice a really outsized reaction to crossing over those flip points. Because the dynamic of the market maker's hedge completely changes. And so, when you're moving above those flip points, downside strikes with positive gamma, or especially if they have positive gamma greater than the gamma at spot, become very supportive. But also, if there isn't a more positive strike below spot, that means that losing the strike below spot, gamma will start to roll off very, very quickly, because this is always going to be like the steepest part of that total slope.
Okay.
And so
that makes
with
sense.
every, dollar move down through this range, the amount of gamma lost is greater. And in these ranges where gamma's flatter, that's less true, and price tends to move around a little bit more easily through those ranges with less resistance and less support.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. That helps so much. I guess the last follow-up question I have to that is, so then, like, does that help with identifying, like all of this, like considering like all the points you're making, does that help with identifying positions that they would want to short volatility to defend as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you
Okay.
have like, we see that throughout the entirety of the day at the delta neutral line. And yesterday was a little bit better of an example. I don't know if you remember it. I can't pull it up.
Yep, I
But
remember.
we had multiple tests of the DN, right? And we kept bouncing off of it every fucking time. Like, we test it, bounce, test it, bounce, test it, just over and over and over until we finally broke through it at the very end of the day. And that's because the positioning that was pushing us down into it had finally expanded enough that it had the momentum to push through that support. But that's where bulls, if we open above the delta flip point, bulls are going to want to protect that, because they're selling puts here right at the money. And then, on that next test, like here, they're selling puts. And this is why the delta, like, flip point keeps rising, because all those puts are being sold below spot, and that's pushing the market maker's delta hedge up. That's why sold puts, even though most people don't think of it that way, are so bullish. Because
Okay, yeah,
what they do is they force the market maker to buy.
yeah, that makes total sense. Because like this morning, like when we opened up, what was it, like at 60.75 or like right above it, and
Yeah,
we
and
saw them
like,
shorting volatility right away.
I just
I mean,
immediately
even
closed
even
my
without you having to
puts.
say it, we knew we were going up.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes total sense. Thank you so much again. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah, another thing you can look at too in regards to the sold puts, again, trying to play off the volatility and what that's telling you. It's hard to get this at the end of the day because vol is just kind of funky. All the prices just kind of blow out at the end of the day. But you can look at the IV curve for 0 DTE's bottom right on the live on the live data, the dark blue one. It's kind of hard to see right here in the small screen. Well, I don't have it expanded, but and you can kind of look at the left side tail and the right side tail and kind of see which one's steeper. And if
I
you
didn't
have a
even
lot of
think about that.
if you have a lot of sold puts, the left side tail will tend to be flatter, just because they're depressing the price of options by selling them so aggressively. And then you'll see the converse happen a lot, especially if we start like going and testing a huge amount of gamma to the upside where existing sold call positions are already sitting. You'll see more sold calls come in, which will depress that IV at the top, and then if they get squeezed out, it just like the right side just like pops up, kind of blows off a little bit. That's kind of set whenever I come into the SPX chat. I'm just like, looks like we're squeezing.
Oh, so that makes sense to how you can. I mean, it's not like a guaranteed like assumption, but it helps you gain the idea of if the puts or calls at that spot are sold by looking at that.
Yeah. So again, this would
lack
be
of
in the docs
steepness
that I'm
of
writing
IV.
up. Yeah, but IV is price. They're the same thing, represented in different ways.
Yeah. So then that would make sense to why like just for like the short volatility example, like if you had like a short volatility position like this morning is 60.75, and if we had lost it, you would see that more rapid increase in IV, if I'm understanding
That's
correctly.
correct.
If they're closing them, yes.
Yeah.
If they're not
Okay.
closing them, then you won't, and you'll be like, all right, they're gonna fight this. They're gonna try to turn it around.
Wow, my mind's blown right now. This is going to be so much fun. Thank you so much.
No problem, man.
Yeah, I think it's fun. I have fun
Dude,
watching
it's
it.
a blast.
All right, Rich Ditz. I don't have a microphone either, I guess. Can you explain the gamma curve page on GammaStrike? Sure.
Yeah, it's a hill. You go up the hill or you roll down the hill.
Yeah, I mean that's why we used the meatball analogy for so long, to try to help people understand this. So for RDW, if I'm looking at your gamma curve page, does this massive green mean that it's just going to continue up without resistance? No. Hold on. Let me pull up RDW here. Okay. So RDW is kind of past the peak of its gamma. RDW is really very unlikely to go up more at this point. It'd be very hard for it to. It has gone up a lot. But there's no more gamma being added on upside moves. Gamma's actually falling off. So this is above gamma max currently. Very much so.
What is this stock?
It's like some space thing.
Oh god.
Yeah.
It's got like, before it started rocketing in the last few days, it had like 10 million delta on it. Just like nothing.
Yeah.
This is like as bad as Fubo. Is this worse than Fubo?
It might be.
How much delta does Fubo have? Yeah, it's about the same.
So yeah, I mean, your gamma is going to fall off to the upside. Now, delta can support continued moves up. If delta were to come in, at below spot, and people are buying in the money or selling in the money puts, like bought calls or sold puts here, and delta could potentially continue up from here. But there's a lot of strikes to the upside on the chain. I feel like if I go look, volatility is probably falling. Let me check out the 10. Yeah, see, IV10 over the last couple of days has fallen off. This is like a really advantageous position for volatility shorts to come in, because the fact that no more gamma is being added to the upside protects their sold calls. And so they can kind of just sell as many calls out here as they want. And they're going to not really be afraid of the price. Even if the price were to move up, it's going to revert back to where the peak is. And so usually in a situation like this, especially on like some stock that's really not very big or important, you're probably just going to see a lot of shortfall as you move up above the most positive point in that gamma curve. You want to add anything to that?
No, I think that was pretty good.
Okay.
Sorry, I was looking at the new experimental thing that I'm building.
Oh,
Kind of gooning over that a little bit, and I can't talk about it.
nope. I can't imagine Farty McGoo handling a financial crisis. I'm sure it's turtles all the way up.
My GammaStrike doesn't look as cool as yours. Go to beta.gammastrike.com. All the cool kids are going there.
Yeah, that's where you guys should be
The
going.
old app.gammastrike.com is getting deprecated ASAP because it
When
doesn't
launched?
work.
What's up, Nick?
That's my question. When launch?
Maybe
I'm glad
maybe
somebody else is asking because I'm not allowed to ask anymore.
maybe in the next week or so. If we got the little kinks worked out. What's up, Moped?
Well,
How you doing, man?
I think the strategy should be I or somebody creates an unreasonable date and then make the devs scramble to meet that date.
Alternatively, we could just let them push it out when it's done.
Yeah, but then they'll like me more.
All right. That's fair.
All right, I'm gonna go back to building it. Just thought I'd ask the question.
Yeah, the guy who's building the feature that we're waiting on is like, hey guys, when are you gonna be ready to go?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's looking good though. I mean, I don't know. When it's soon. I'm ready to go. I've been ready to launch this thing for like a month.
Moped, you there, man?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
just,
there. I,
just interrupt us. We'll just keep talking
Yeah.
otherwise.
I mean, that was my question too. But what I'm asking about is the Greek by strike, like that bar chart. Specifically, like how do you interpret like what is a sufficient amount for movement, or like what's easy movement? So like I get the idea that a high bar is a supportive resist and it's like a gravity well, and like when the bar adjacent bars are flat, it's easy to move either way. But like when it's sort of like like choppy, like in between things, like how do you this could be good movement or not?
So-
if that makes
Yeah, so actually, price moves more fluidly through ranges where gamma is lower. So if I go to like SPX or well, let's go SPXW, because that's gonna be a little bit tighter. Oh, there we go.
She said.
You know, and you're looking at something like this, right? You know, we've got this big bar here, and you're right. Yeah, that's gonna kind of act as an attractant, but also, you know, resistance to an upside move. But, you know, if we lose 120, it's very likely that these low areas, these low points, price will just travel through quickly. So, like, if price were to fall, price is likely to fall through 115 and just go to 110. And if there's enough momentum on that, you know, it's probably going to fall all the way back to 6100 because there's a huge amount of gamma at 6100. Which kind of reaches out beyond its own boundaries and pulls price towards it. Like kind of like that. Because it is so large. And yeah, that's the kind of gravity well effect you're talking about. But yeah, generally as gamma falls off in a range, price is a little bit more like fluid, and it travels through those ranges a little bit more easily. Something you'll see really frequently on the intraday is you'll see kind of what we call the saddle. And you'll get like, you know, you get like a lot of, well, on your side, it's going to look like this, right? You're going to get negative gamma here. You're going to get positive gamma here. And generally, throughout the trading day, price is going to flow between these 2 points. So on a downside move, price is going to probably find support here, and it's probably going to find resistance here at the full extent of its range. And as the day progresses and the gamma at these strikes moves up, price is more and more likely to settle in the middle of those strikes, because those kind of walls of gamma become bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger as the day progresses. And so price will start to move less and less because people are, selling these puts, selling these calls, right? And that kind of pinches price into a narrower and narrower range. And very frequently, on SPX, you'll see the opening range is very wide because gamma still is low for the 0 DTEs. And then as the day progresses, that range will narrow into the end of the day. And that's because gamma is very high at the end of the day, which makes more and more of those levels more and more insurmountable. And sometimes you break through them, like we did at the end of the day today, and you get a really violent reaction because there is so much gamma at that strike, and you have the effect of, charm, because the delta at that strike is going from basically nothing to right all the way up to 100 right away. And you get these really violent pushes at the end of the day when levels are broken because of that same effect.
Wow, very interesting. I was under the impression that when there isn't enough interest at a particular strike, that you have to wait for that to fill in for that additional liquidity. But that kind of blew my mind. I did not realize that. And it seemed like you also sort of explained how you lead to that 15 MTE sort of phenomenon, is that if there's that that buildup, maybe wait until the end of the day. I guess that's two sort of follow-up questions, but I'm just a bit surprised by that. I didn't realize that.
No worries. So what was the first follow-up question?
Oh, the first follow-up question was, I didn't realize that it could just move without that additional interest in those intermediate strikes.
So I mean, there's still trading going on in the underlying, and we're just looking at how the market maker's hedge affects the potential price realization of that underlying trading. Like, there's still futures buyers, there's still people buying NQ, there's still people buying the underlying stocks in the S&P, and all of those are factored into the calculation that determines the price of SPX at any given time, right? And so what these hedges do is they give you representative ranges and how the market maker is reacting to the movement of that price.
Gotcha. And then the last follow-up is, how do you decide between using the charts by strikes with both puts and calls, or the net? Like, when does one make more sense over the other, if it does?
So if you're looking at like the live, there's a few instances here. One where I'd be using, like delta a lot is probably to determine where the put positions are coming in. Or I would be using volume. And on those, I'd probably be using not the net, right? Like, net volume's not really very important to me. I want to know what the volume on calls and puts is, because as we're trading throughout the day, and look, if you look at this, for instance, we were trading here, right? We got outsized volume on calls out of the money. We've got outsized volume on puts out of the money, and then the shit at spots just kind of fairly stagnant. And so, that can give me a bit of an idea of where, the short volatility positions are kind of rooting themselves.
So then, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, because once they kind of plant their flag for the day throughout the intraday session, they generally, other people are drawn to those same positions. Right, so you might start the day with just, like one big sold put wall and one big sold call wall. And as price moves throughout the range between those two things, you'll start to build out more sold puts. You'll build out more sold calls. Because, people are seeking those premiums. And these will expand because they are the largest. They are where people generally deem their positioning the safest. And usually after that peak, you'll see a slightly higher peak, and these are people who are trying to use the prior strike as protection for the strike they're selling, and so on. And the accumulation of those kind of concentrates. You can say it does it randomly. I think there's some like gas particle theories of like where you have a bunch of random particles in a room and they coalesce, kind of thing. That's very similar to what's happening here when you're dealing with this kind of the same chaotic effect.
Okay, so as an engineer, I actually do understand that analogy.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
So I guess what you mean is that if there is like a sort of like a solid support being built up, even more so in a positive gamma environment, you presume it's being sold puts, and they're
Yeah.
trying to like flow position. Is that fair?
I would argue, from at least from my experience, that very, very rarely, and only in extraordinarily extreme environments, are puts being bought. Puts are almost never bought in size on indexes at all. I know the naive assumption goes, hey, these puts are bought, these calls are sold. They're insuring and yielding, right? Insure yield. But the reality of the 0 DTE situation is that everything's sold. And the selling of everybody trying to maximize yield on either side of the price range for the day eventually pushes price into a narrower and narrower range into the end of the trading day. But it also creates a lot of outsized risk, because the market maker is then long those calls and long those puts, right? And so the second the market maker gets an edge, they're going to hedge all of that shit that they're long, because they want to collect all that premium.
Cool. I'm just trying to digest all that. That was
No worries.
pretty good.
What's up, NW? Regarding the flat gamma between strikes. Oh, are you good? Are you done questioning?
Yeah, I think I'm good. I'm just making notes. I gotta sort of digest and rewatch it a little bit. So I think I'm good. Thanks, Kirk. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man. Rab, regarding flat gamma between strikes, making PA easier to move, is it helpful to measure gamma color for some stocks? No, you don't need to measure color. I've never really considered that certain price ranges can see accelerating gamma and GAX. There's a very, very small percentage of the day where knowing color might be worthwhile, and you don't need it. You can just use GAX and speed. I mean, having a measure of color is not going to be particularly helpful for you because you're not a market maker. I mean, it's not gonna, you're not gonna see anything on a color chart that you're not gonna see having Vana, speed, and gamma. J-Fresh is back. Oh shit. You bailed on me.
My internet went down and then came back. I'm here, baby. I think the term you might have been looking for with your particle thing is Oswald ripening.
Maybe. I think I'm more thinking of like the quantum one.
Oh. Quantum boners?
Well, there's like some quantum like entanglement shit where like you have a.
Your desire to have us harmonize on top of spaghetti is weird.
I know.
I'm not doing it.
On top of. No, we're not. Oh, we're
No.
not. Oh, okay.
No,
Sorry.
I'm gonna screw up the harmony, and it's gonna be embarrassing, and I can't handle that kind of rejection publicly.
That's fair.
I've never been good at harmonizing.
I don't know the song, so I was hoping you would lead the way, but that's. I'll ban everyone who talks shit. Thanks, Trash.
It's on top of spaghetti, something, something, something. I don't know.
I almost called in as a speaker just so I could slide down on the stairs, but my tummy's full. Alright, Squamps. Don't worry about it. Your tummy will be empty next time, I'm sure. Alright, more questions. Someone else get up here. The questions are getting better, did you notice?
They are getting better.
They are getting better. They're getting significantly less retarded.
You're gonna discourage newcomers and those who haven't asked yet.
Well, no.
And who now they're feeling like they're getting left behind, and you're just gonna further alienate them.
I thought they were into shaming. Why are they part of the channel?
The only stupid question is the one you have to ask twice.
Oh, here we go. We got someone.
Yeah, I think I can bring the IQ down on some questions for.
Fuck yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Let's say
So
shares.
I just joined in, and well, not just joined in, but I hear you talking about colors, and I'm looking at the bottom right one.
Okay, the gamma curve.
We're not. When you guys were talking about colors, we're not talking about those three colors, were we?
They're talking about a derivative of gamma called color, which is the expansion of gamma relative to theta decay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I always am looking at this chart, but well, since the meatball last year, but does the color matter at all, or are we just looking at slope and the color is?
The color does, actually. We have a gradient here for a reason. In the green range, you have a very, and the deeper green it gets, it becomes more and more like this. You get a change in behavior in how price reacts to, upside and downside moves. This range is very supportive. The MM is, buying the dip. There's a lot of positive gamma underneath the price supporting it. And the upside, gamma is gained more slowly, but it is gained very consistently. So it's kind of an escalator up, not elevator down, like escalator up, escalator down kind of environment. And then in the yellow range, things are a bit more volatile. Like price is kind of all over the place. Volatility picks up on the low end because, gamma is going negative. Picks up, it picks up from the high end because gamma flips negative in the middle of the transition. And so you start to get a lot of realized volatility in that range, and it becomes very elevator up, elevator down. And in the lower range, as it gets more and more red, you kind of get the opposite of the positive gamma range, where you get kind of, escalator down, elevator up. But the down is now supported. The down is more consistent. Indexes don't spend a lot of time trading in negative gamma environments, generally speaking, outside of real bear markets.
Okay. Well, is that just because things are mostly bull markets?
Generally, yeah. Yeah, bear markets are a little more rare. Also, just because of the nature of the advantage of high IV and selling puts and building bullish positioning, everyone wants to sell the mean reversion on volatility, because volatility is one of the only things in the market that's guaranteed over time to mean revert, right? And so if you sell vol far enough out when vol is really high, there's a very, very good chance that vol is going to come down. And so the more vol goes up, the more and more participants are encouraged to sell that vol, because the returns get better and better and better.
And this market maker that they're forcing to buy, how do they? I mean, I know they have their fancy way of getting their money, but when I've kind of heard you guys talk over time, they always seem like they're they get screwed into a position. Are they just
Well, they're
losing
just
out from some hedge funds and
I
beating
mean,
us?
they're just dynamically hedging all the time, and they're not really making their money on price movement. They do sometimes, especially when they're over levered one way or the other. But generally speaking, if you make the assumption that market makers are neutral, they're hedged against everything. They don't really care. Their hedging behavior and their dynamic hedging will change relative to the information that we provide, right? That's the purpose of what we provide, is to give you insight into how the MM's hedging is going to change level by level, and in different price ranges. That way you can get a stronger edge in trading those stocks and determining, the most advantageous positioning. But the market maker kind of doesn't give a shit. There's some rare instances, I'm sure you've been on the stream, when we've gone like negative Vana and everything just starts selling off like crazy. So there are some extremes that the market maker can be put into, where they really do take a very active role in price realization. But the rest of the time, they're just like, we approach a big pile of gamma, and they stop hedging gamma so much, right? And because they're not hedging the gamma so much, the price kind of stops going up. And if the price stops going up, then participants are like, oh shit, I want to sell this call here, because it doesn't look like price is going up anymore, right? Like, they're reacting to the market maker's indifference at that strike, and they start selling the call. And then the market maker then reacts. They're like, well, we're going to start shorting a bit because we're getting a bunch of calls sold up here. And then the price starts to turn around. And then people are like, oh, shit, I want to sell that call before it goes away, right? And then the price turns around faster. And then, boom, you have a rejection.
That leads exactly into my two questions.
God.
The mechanics of why large pockets of negative gamma are supportive and large pockets of positive gamma act as resistance.
He didn't raise his hand. This is not a valid line of questioning.
He did. How do you think he got up here?
Yeah.
BeatRQ, did you have anything else?
Not really about the platform, so I'll let you guys go ahead.
All right, cool, man. All right, Nuke, what do you got for me?
No, that was my question. For some reason in my head, my brain.
So you've got some observational bias going on there. They're both big pockets of positive gamma, and big pockets of negative gamma are both resistance, and they're both support, depending on how price is moving away or towards them. So like 6,100 today, right? Getting over it was really important because it turns it into a support, but pushing it to the upside was resistance. And the MM they're just not doing anything there, right? They've already hedged all the gamma. Like, you see the slope of gamma exposure increasing to that point. Once they get there, they're just not doing anything. And they're waiting for the reaction of the market participants. So market participants might buy and try to push it over that big pile of gamma, but the MMs, they're not doing much there at all. And that's why those act as, kind of a barrier to a more upside room or more downside room. And sometimes they don't. Sometimes you have huge volume in the market, they just get blown out. And we haven't seen that a lot recently, but it will happen, and you'll see it happen. And you'll be like, holy fuck, that giant wall of gamma just got fucking obliterated.
Yeah.
And it will, because people are actively churning the market as you move up into that range, and then that range is gone, and all of a sudden it's being hedged to the upside, and they're hedging the now higher increase in gamma as price continues to move up, and now they've got that big pile of delta in the money that's getting hedged as it increases, and so yeah, I mean that's kind of what you're looking at.
Yeah, and I've noticed it a lot on individual stocks. Is there'll be a big pile of gamma at a certain strike, and then it jumps up a few cents over that strike, and in the same 5 seconds, it smashes back down below that strike. So I've seen it in action, just don't completely understand why. So
Well, does that help?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it does.
Hey
Yeah.
guys, I have a question too.
What the fuck? All right. Oh, don't you dare! Don't you dare!
No, it's
Okay.
not that.
All right.
I keep getting this Temu ad, and it keeps showing me this one particular thing.
Is that the Nick Cage
And
blanket? I have one already. You can have it.
I need to know what that red thing is.
Oh, that's a. Okay, I'm gonna hazard two guesses here. One, it's a nose bridge for a Meta VR headset. Two, Thighmaster, silicone Thighmaster, and that's to cradle your
I was
balls in
thinking
the
some
middle.
sort of ball torture device,
If that's
but
what
I haven't
works
quite
for you.
worked out how that would work here. But I keep getting an ad for it.
Buy it.
Oculus headset liner. That's the lamest thing I've ever
That's
heard.
exactly what it looks like.
Why did they? I don't
That's
have
what
an Oculus. I've never looked up Oculus. Why would they think I want that?
They sell a lot of it. I have one. I don't have a silicone one. I have I don't even know. Actually, I bought the Oculus and I never used it. It made me like seasick the first time I put it on, trying to navigate the settings menu, and then I threw it in the corner of my room, and that's where it lives now, along with my Nintendo Switch.
Nintendo Switch 2 is coming out.
No, I should buy that and then also not use it.
You should buy a few and then lose some.
Around the neck earbuds? What if instead of earbuds, you could put it in your mouth? Huh.
Mouth buds?
Oh, like the bone conduction headphones, but you just put them in your teeth?
I don't like that. No.
No?
Just a chew toy. No.
You don't like to chew your music? What's your next question, Nuke?
No, that was it.
Oh, I thought you had
Win
two.
lunch.
All right, cool. See you later. It's a cushioned headdress for chakra crystals. Oh, there you go. Can you guys harmonize on top of spaghetti? Kirk, don't say you don't know the song when you started singing it already. I mean, I know the beginning. Yeah, I know the first line. I just don't remember the rest of it. But someone did post the lyrics for us. I just don't think it's gonna happen.
It's not. Not tonight. Had a long day. And I have a long day tomorrow.
Maybe we need to get like
Right now.
30 people on stage, and then everyone sings it,
No.
masking the individual embarrassment. But the secret is none of us sing, and JFresh just sings, and then we all hear him, and then we can laugh. What's up, dude? Welcome back for like the 5th time.
Sorry, I keep like coming like thinking about everything, and then like I hit like a spot that I get stuck, and I'm like, all right, let me just ask. I'm here.
You heard him, folks. A guy named STD Slot Machine just keeps coming.
Yeah, it's a fun story behind the name, but so my question is, we're in the positive gamma and delta environment on the weekly chain, and on the monthly chain we're in the positive. Yeah, same thing. So if we let's say, like, for example, on the weekly chain, we were to cross down past gamma neutral and be in that negative environment, would that make the delta and gamma flip points on the 0 DTE data, like on the live data, less supportive because of how the MM on the weekly chain on the flat tape would be selling into that?
Absolutely. Actually, you'll
Okay.
find in a negative gamma environment, those two lines tend to be above spot almost all the time. And they act, and gamma flip acts as a very strong resistance in the intraday. The opposite of what you get with the delta flip in a positive gamma environment in the intraday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure. All right, thank you so much.
Remember
again.
that. Try to remember that. Like the easy way, I think an easy way to remember this is, and I don't know yet because I've never tested it, but like positive gamma is the V, like it's the V machine, right? All drops are bought, they snap back, and price goes back to a new higher high. And then in negative gamma environments, V's get rejected.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So they become A's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that was the only question I had, at least
Yeah.
unless I think of another. Thank you again. I appreciate it.
No
Yeah, I
problem.
was gonna add something, but I figured I don't
Nope.
want to complicate it any more than that. So
Okay.
No. Go. I think I have a pretty. If you wanted to add to that, I think I.
well, I had
won't
enough
get
time to think
confused.
about what I was gonna say, and I'm like, I think the answer is good. I don't want to dilute it with more words.
Oh, okay. No problem. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you again.
Thanks, man.
If we get
No,
a
wait.
result early,
Wait.
like futures are going.
Yeah.
Tell us the story behind your name.
Uh,
Tit for tat, bro.
I have to generalize it because I can't get doxxed.
Okay.
The long story short was, like, I was really dumb when I was younger, and when I was in college, I was like, oh, when I go into college, I'm never gonna use a condom, and I had a lot of fun in college, and the whole joke was at the end of the college, we were gonna put everyone's name on a wheel if I ever tested positive and who to call first. And it was gonna be it was essentially, they were making the game like an STD, like kind of like a Jeopardy, like slot machine thing. But
This
STD
is-
slot machine sounded better than STD Jeopardy.
How many STDs did you get?
0, and that's the best part because I met my wife in college, and when she knew of the story, and so she was like, "Why'd you never get tested?" And I was like, "Well, you go to gynos, you would know before I would."
That's
Yeah,
So basically, you raw dogged your wife, and it was love at first sight.
and everyone in college, yeah.
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 That's
Yeah,
a
not
beautiful.
smart now.
That's a beautiful story.
It's a love story.
Yeah. Thanks
Especially
for
since her relationship, we started dating
I
by
can't
home
wait
wrecking
to
her
hear the Taylor
relationship.
Swift version of that.
I
They could
gotta.
probably write a song.
Yeah. I could probably make one actually.
If you make one, I'll show it to my wife and she'll kill me. But she'll laugh. I appreciate it again, guys. Thank you so much.
Congratulations on not getting chlamydia.
Thanks, man. Appreciate
You got it. Later, dude. That was a romance for the ages. I feel like I just
I wish I
watched
was
The
that dumb when I
Notebook.
was
I feel
young.
like I just watched The Notebook in the rain.
I wish I could go back and just be the biggest piece of shit ever, because that's what's been rewarded for the last 30 years.
I was a pretty big piece of shit, but I also wore condoms because I didn't want my dick to light on fire. That scares
I don't
me.
even think, how would
I
that
didn't
even
thi-
work? Why would it light on fire?
It's well, the pee burns.
Uh,
Yeah,
a euphemism, I see.
yeah. It was
I was imagining.
not literally, not
imagining-
like hellfire and brimstone rains down
Yeah.
on my dick for my terrible sins. Listen, trash. I've matured.
I agree, Squamps. Fire wieners are no joke, especially with climate change. They're actually a big pandemic right now, and in California, everyone's wieners are on fire.
We live in a post-STD culture. We do not at all. People are fucking stupid. Thanks, Dave, resident pickle jar urologist. Foreskin prevents STDs only if you tie it up really tight.
It's like that roast twine.
You gotta you just use a zip tie.
Oh God, I was thinking like cheese rope or something.
Like where you just stick in your dick in a string cheese packet. You don't have to comment. It's fine.
A zip tie, that seems.
I don't know. I don't have a foreskin. My penis isn't weird looking.
You need like I don't know. How do they seal off sausages?
This is a great time to talk about how weird Dork's penis looks when he's not here.
It's fair turnabout for the IUD strings.
Oh,
IUD strings are the worst.
Old Sheezy's got a big ice dildo. Nice, dude.
Ooh. You guys should all go look up what an Alaskan pipeline is. Jen, you should look it up more than anyone else.
We do the same thing in New York City. We just have better health education classes. STD. So that wasn't a zit of dick. Oh, this is awkward. Do we need to do like a pickle jar sex education course? Maybe.
I don't know.
I'm looking for an actual question. I'm not getting
Yeah, I feel like I've gone too deep into this, and now I want out, and I can't escape from this conversation.
That's what
Everyone's
happens.
just talking about dicks now. Oh, what's happening with the BOJ? Well, in 30 minutes, they're gonna all meat spin.
I'm here now. You can start the fireside chat. Oh, yeah, because we were waiting. Awesome. What's up with the BOJ? Well, they're the central bank for the country of Japan, and hopefully they blow up the market tonight because our greed as a nation has become visceral.
Yeah, you know those like you know when you see like those clips from weird Japanese TV shows, and it's always just like a bunch of
Are you
dudes.
talking about
like,
the ones where they're just like whipping each other's balls?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're just like absolutely beating the shit out of each other's balls, and it's like this fun game to see like who can mangle whose balls the most. That's the BOJ.
I wonder if you get like a box of ramen when you win.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no I don't know.
Oh my god, slot machine doxed his poly D. Excellent.
Yeah, what's that guy on the bottom doing? Why is he holding him up like that's so weird? Like just tie him down and beat the shit out of his
I
balls.
looked up
like
Alaskan pipeline and thought, what the fuck? Then I saw it was invented in the University of Iowa, and it somehow made sense. Huh. Are we staying for the Japan decision? We are. Oh, thank you, Lit Spaceman. Yeah, these videos. Where it's just a game show of Japanese men whipping each other in the balls.
That's the Bank of Japan.
That is actually the big. This is their meeting right now, live.
Yeah, it's live. Yeah. And in 30 minutes, we see if that guy who's getting beaten right in the balls raises rates.
Yep. If he can withstand sufficient amounts of ball hits, he's allowed to raise rates.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that for the YouTube chat. Of course, I wouldn't want them to miss out. They're doing this to the Nissan guy right now. I did play another
Alright.
Peen game in school. It's essentially how well did I know my teammates?
Is that
Yeah,
secret
you know what?
penis?
It's not even. Yeah, that's the same game that we play during the quant meetings when we all put on blindfolds and walk around with boners.
Secret penis.
Yeah, you just grab one and you try to guess who it is. I mean, we've all
I've never
gotten
got
so.
your explanations for the different bull bear indicators yet. Carl's working on it. I delegated that to him.
Yeah, which means it'll be done sometime between now and at another point.
Yeah. Well, he asked me if he could help, and I said, "Here, you could help," and I gave him the 15-page document that's probably going to be like 30 pages when it's done. And he's like, "I can do that." And I was like, "All right, I'm going to keep going." And if you
Do we have
fill
more?
in some of
Do we
these
have more
blanks before it
questions
keeps
about
going.
GammaStrike?
No.
No. We got 30 minutes. We could answer more things that people could get better at stocks. So,
No, that's
sometimes
not-
I
that's not
suspect
what's
that this
happening here.
community is not about that at all.
No, it's not. It's about what we're talking about right now. The Bank
Yeah.
of Japan.
Bank of Japan whipping each other's balls is. Gherkin, what is the stock? Oh my god. Sometimes, like, I'm just going through my day thinking, oh my god, I'm educating and helping so many people, and I'm not. The reality is, everyone's just here for Japanese ball torture.
Isn't that like what the stock market is? It's just
Why do they call it a
financial Japanese
ticker
ball
if it
torture.
doesn't make any noise? They used to have little machines that printed out on something called a ticker tape, and it went tick, 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 and it printed out all the stock information live from the exchange, vis-a-vis the telegram wires.
Yeti Meister, somebody just brought up G-Scan. I don't have the strength to change anything about it. I invented it. People seem to like it. I want it to evolve without me. I'm giving Carl a whack at it. We'll see what he comes up with.
Was G-Scan discussed previously? I know the labeling of the sections was in question. Yeah, we're working on relabeling them. You told me to take profits, and I'm still trying to figure that out. Some of you aren't here for Japanese ball torture? I know, it's shocking. Thanks, man. Have there been other times when the Japan rate thing meant market might go somewhere? Yeah, when they raised them at the end of July and almost crashed the market. I'm learning things, Gherkin. Even if it's Alaskan pipelines, I'm still learning. At least you're learning things you'll never forget. Man, have you ever think about when we're all old and we have dementia and we just start talking about Alabama Hot Pockets and Alaska pipelines on our deathbeds?
Like Mama used to make them.
Wait, were we supposed to sell Fubo yet? I don't know. I just keep selling cover calls on it. It's been great. The West Virginia wheelbarrow. Don't want to know. Nope. Suppose the market does crash, or a steep correction. Will there be many long puts? Yes, you will get long puts in that instance. If the MM goes negative, Vana, they have to start buying shorter dated puts to hedge. And so you actually get somebody buying an excessive amount of very short dated puts, which drives the market down even faster.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the reason you don't get as high as you are now with people using conservative risk management practices. So that tends to be a wild reaction when things start to fall apart.
Gherkin, will you be expanding accessibility of GammaStrike so that vegetarians can use the meatball indicator? Actually, no, but if you declare you're a vegetarian when you sign up, we'll put a little Beyond logo on the meatball chart.
If you type in BYND into the ticker search.
Yeah. I have a bunch of 350 weekly calls on Fubo I bought on Wednesday. Don't say that. I probably... No, I didn't sell those to you. But I could sell you more later. Is there something you can look for in positioning going into a trading session that tells you the day is likely to be extremely directional, one way or another? I know those are rare. Yeah, trend days are a little less common. I mean, well, generally price improvement in the market is realized in overnight sessions because it's very hard to get above major resistances without a lot of volume. But on the off chance that you do get a trend day, yeah, you'll generally see like very low like upside sold calls, and you'll see a lot of put selling. So you kind of get a like a chart that looks like kind of flat like that, and then like the downside will have big fat fucking put positions. And if you and sometimes when the SPX drops really hard, you'll see that. You'll get like, you know, a lot of negative delta or gamma. And then like just above spot, you know, like say spots here, you'll see that like gamma's just flat as fuck. And then like way out here, you'll see gamma starts to pick up again. This range, trading in there tends to be very trendy. So like if you break up out of the negative gamma, it's very likely that you're just gonna straight and move up to where gamma starts to turn more positive. Like that range is generally going to be covered really, really quickly. And so yeah, if you can identify when that's going to happen, usually you see it after smaller corrections, like 3-5% corrections. My fear is I have to have some procedure where I'm coming out from under anesthesia and suddenly here comes all my pickle jar twisted knowledge. Awesome. Or just like at your dentist's office. They'll never look at you the same way again and you'll never know why. How's that for anxiety inducing? I suggest to Nuke that you should add a feature where Pigeon Wheels could give out referral codes. He loved the idea. Does that referral code come with a discount? Was it 14 days ago? Yes.
I'm flagging, man. I don't know what it is today. I'm just beat. Let's see, spark line.
You're slow, yeah. You need some, like, you know what it is? I don't think you take enough stimulants.
Dude, I drink so much coffee.
Yeah, but coffee only does so much. Right, because coffee just keeps you from feeling tired, but it doesn't make you more alert, like caffeine. You gotta mix it up. You gotta get some, like, I don't know, Yohimbe, Spanish fly, something like that.
I'm gonna do meth.
You mean Ritalin?
That's easier. No, like just methamphetamines.
Oh. Are you gonna smoke it or like just chew it?
Whatever's easiest.
What if you just like dusted some 5 gum with it?
I'm just gonna go to the like the centroid of town, like the geometrical centroid, and just find the first person I see and say, I'd like 1 meth, please.
Oh yeah, we actually do want to do that, I think. Can you pretend you're the MM and walk us through how, what you hedge in positive gamma versus negative gamma? I'm uncertain of the mechanics of their hedging. Math? Well, I was thinking you could just put some
shoot,
like
snooze works. I forgot about that. Dude, there's nothing better than like a great beer buzz and a snooze.
That's why I'm vaping all day. I need the extra stimulants. Otherwise, it can't be like this all the time. Like, the autism will wear out, and I'll get tired.
Yeah, my autism wore out.
You have more drains on yours though. You have little people that just suck your energy out of you, like suck you by.
Yeah,
all the
they do.
time with their antics. And then additionally to that, you've chosen a profession where you have to deal with also children all day.
All children.
Yeah. So your energy is just being drained everywhere, but like energy vampires.
Yeah.
We need to take you on a retreat, I think.
No.
Wow.
I just need to sleep for like 4 days and be with no interruption. Like full cleanse, no food, just water and 4 days of sleep.
Do we want to walk Gene CRISPR through positive gamma versus negative gamma and the hedging mechanics? I mean, really simply, I think the easiest way to understand it, and probably as much as you need for trading, is that in a positive gamma environment, the MM is buying the down tick. So any sell side tick, the MM's buying into it, which kind of flattens the tape, right? I mean, if you're looking at the range of price action, and it's very supportive. And in a negative gamma environment, the MM is selling the down tick, which extends the range of price, like the price action to the downside. From YouTube chat, oh, here we go. Hamburglar Helper says, recommendation for G-Scan, in addition to relabeling the words, small sparkline graphs can be added next to each term to visually describe the price changes over time. Ooh, that'd be cool. I like that.
Yeah, that's what. So another thing too. I mean, a lot of people have had some interesting ideas. Some people have said, "Hey, it'd be good to have some historical information to see how many days, like to see if something that's showing up on Gscan has been there for a few days or if it jumped around." So I was thinking a simple thing to do would just be to put the number of days, concurrent days it's been on the indicator it's on. I don't know. That might not be useful, but I thought it'd be cool. It'd be a lot more elegant than just shitting out 10 times more data and having people go through it all.
I do like that. Do you want to give a discount? Fuck no.
No, the price is the price.
Yep.
We might raise the price, actually. We'll see.
We don't even know what it is yet. How can we... We should also probably sit down and do the math on figuring out what the price should be.
Yeah, we got to get the daily cost. Work it out. It's probably not going to be too different than what we are originally estimating.
Team Ritalin, nicotine, caffeine. Gherkin's vaping autism. Caffeine and rage. I will say rage does fuel a lot of my seemingly endless energy.
Yeah, sometimes I try to, like, if I'm driving and I get really tired, I try to, like, get myself in a situation that will make me extremely angry at someone. Just because the anger fuels me. Like, if one of my kids ran in here right now and just slapped me in the face, I'd be ready to go for another hour. But it'd have to be a surprise. If I asked them to do it, it wouldn't work.
Oh, here we got a speaker. Holy shit. You already got a discount, Cobra. You just haven't signed up. Cheap fuck.
Yeah, you have the lowest price it will ever be.
Yeah.
Forever.
You can just grab that at any time.
Which it's kind of BS that we're still extending it to you. I feel like that window is closing rapidly. We don't need your money anymore.
The only reason it's still open is because Farmville players been saving $5 a week.
Farmville player. What's up, Rob?
What's up, Rob?
Rob's, you're not coming through. Oh, you're muted. He probably didn't know that he was getting called up. He probably asked like a year ago and forgot he had Discord still.
GS price should scale with VIX. Interesting. So make like
Oh,
an.
there
Oh,
he goes.
we got him.
We got him, ladies and gentlemen. Nope. False alarm.
Figure out the daily cost and add 10%. Then us pigeon wheels can give out discount referrals. Literally shitting on the pores. Huh. You know, tempting.
I do hate most of that idea, but I like the ability of the rich to get better financial leverage than the poor. That sounds on brand.
Collusion. BOJ raising to 0.5. We'll find out in 17 minutes. Dynamic pricing. We just base it on how much total delta's in the market at any given time. Delta goes up, price goes up. You had my money. Yeah, then we gave it back and you didn't give it back to us again. It's not my fault you can't wrap your head around this, or that you don't need the platform because all you do is buy far out of the money puts with 90 days to expiration. I want my money back. You're gonna have to take that up with YouTube.
Which one? Maple?
Mhm.
Oh, wait, you didn't sign up for GammaStrike.
No.
Did that come through the microphone?
What? I'm still waiting for Rab to talk to us. How you doing there, man? You need any help?
He's struggling. He's struggle busting on the microphone.
You
He's
gotta change your input device to like your headphones or
yeah,
whatever
you
you're
gotta
using.
go to settings and go to video and audio, and you gotta fiddle with the inputs. Voice and video, sorry, under app settings.
CMIL, does GammaStrike have a page where you can compare the cost of puts to that of shares to ensure they are costs like same? You fucker.
Yes.
Sure. Gherkin,
Every
what's your
single page.
favorite condiment? Oh man, that's tough.
That is tough. Wasabi? I don't know.
You know, it's probably whole grain Dijon mustard.
Ooh.
I like how it pops in my teeth.
I don't love that actually. I don't
No?
love it.
You like the stone ground?
I like just the crappy yellow mustard.
Oh god, I hate that shit. I like a little spice or kick to my mustard. Is there a GS FAQ? Yeah, you can go to GammaStrike.com or app.gammastrike.com, and there's some PDFs on the front page that you can plow through. Dandemonium.
Yeah, and
we're working on
extensive
a bigger,
documentation.
bigger educational
We
documentation.
have heard the cries, and we finally responded, and I started writing all this shit down.
It looks like you're writing a book, by the way. It's like a novel.
It's gonna be a thing.
Yeah,
People aren't gonna want to read it.
I can tell. 3 years of me telling them to read options as a strategic investment and volatility pricing, and they're just going to read the thing that you wrote. It's going to be the same information. But that's cool. Can we return products we bought directly from the Gherk store, like the all-in-one garage, wall storage, apparatus, body hair remover? No. There's no refunds on those. Also, they were recalled. The charts were over my head without guidance. That's fair. We're working on it. I mean, that's what this is for, to ask questions and learn.
Yeah.
That's why we're taking our time
Don't write
to
a
do
scientific
this.
paper. You got to make it a bunch of tweets so people can doom scroll them. You're going to get technical documentation and you're going to hate it and you're going to read it. And if you
Yep.
don't read it and you ask me questions after, this is the only time where you can ask any question and we'll actually answer it. Once this is out, the first question is going to be, did you read the docs?
Before you talk to us, have you read the docs?
Yeah.
I can't do that. I have like a weakness for answering questions that
Yeah,
have
I
been
mean, I do
asked
too.
like a
I'm
million
being
times.
a
Yeah, you do
little,
too.
I'm being a little overly negative on that. But I will be more likely to give up on you if it's not going through, to be like, maybe read this and noodle on it for a bit. You know, get out a piece of scratch paper and see if you can kind of work
I'm
it
just
out
gonna start
yourself.
inviting people to speak because I want to hear their voices. Let's see, who do we got? Let's get
I know, need to. I think about the majority of my audience all the time.
Oh, you know what? I want to hear Semo's voice. Let's get Semo up here.
I once gave a talk at a conference on thermal engineering.
Uh-huh.
And one of my slides was, this is just for Nietzsche, and one of my slides was a picture of a motor that burned out, and I said, the copper wires are what gets hot in the motor.
Nice. Semo,
Oh,
I've brought you onto the stage. Ask us a
can you
question.
hear me?
I can hear Bert in the background. And me. Why am I there?
And you. Because I had you on YouTube and YouTube is delayed. No, I don't have any real questions because I don't have GammaStrike yet, so I don't have anything to ask an educated question about.
Son of a bitch. Alright. Fair enough.
But I appreciate it.
It's good talking to you.
Yeah, you too.
Oh. I'll move you back to the audience now.
Sounds good.
Alright, give me 1 second. I have to go grab something. J-Fresh, you have to talk to the people. Entertain them.
Okay, I gotta do what now? Tell about your favorite recent lecture. I don't really have any. I've just started getting crazy because I've taught the stuff so much that I have to keep it interesting for myself. So I just go off on a bunch of tangents. Like, people ask me a question and they just want a quick answer, and I give them like a 10-minute answer that involves like so many things that they would have never wanted to know, and now they know. And I try to get feedback to be like, I know that was a really long answer and it was probably more than you wanted, but did that help? And they're just like blank stare, kind of like, yeah, it helped, and I have no feedback at all. So, but my classes are always full, so I'm assuming that means that it's good. I don't know.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Here are my notes, guys. Dumbass. I don't know what it means, but it's funny.
Thanks for the notes, Dents. Yeah, also in the options plays channel in Zillionaire, some of the guys have been taking notes on the fireside stream, so there might be some information in there for you guys if you missed the previous ones. Ben doesn't have a voice.
I don't know why the question is being directed at me. We have a marketing department who's going to do all of our tweeting and stuff, and we're just going to vibe off that for marketing. But We're just gonna kind of grow organically. We don't have to. We don't have to grow super fast. We don't have to like go nuts. We're gonna grow it until it stops being fun, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Or we've just like
Oh.
made enough money doing our own shit, and we're busy with that. So someone brought up Fuber
Quick
earlier.
lesson
If you
on
guys feel-
entropy. What is entropy?
And I think he means entropy.
Or enthalpy?
That's not a thing, though, right?
Yeah. Oh shit! Remember entropy swaps? Those are fun.
They were cool. I think that like nobody believed that they existed, though.
Yeah, maybe.
Although we did
Well-
kind of suss one out.
Yeah, although speaking of entropy swaps being in the family of power law swaps, of which the variance swap is also a member of. And remember, I wrote all that diddly d
Mm-hmm.
on finding the variance swap on GME. The GME thing happened in 2021, and we are working on getting our data to go back through 2021.
Ooh, that's gonna be exciting.
And even further. So all the data you love plus more. And we're going to keep going back until people stop providing us information.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool to go back and like look at all the like options data from a lot of that stuff back then.
Yeah. I mean, some of the Greeks that he was calculating are insane. Oh my gosh. People were so degenerate then.
Yep. We had good times though.
Yes, we'll have historical. Yeah, I mean, it already goes back to 2022. It's going to go even further back. Advertising super strong to assert dollars. No, I want to advertise to people who have money.
Well put.
Sorry. Couldn't pass it up. That was my first. I thought I could handle anything. And then I dipped my toes into trying to talk about market mechanics with those people. And they broke me for about a good year. I was a broken man. But I came out stronger and more dead inside. More calloused. I'm just like a thicker husk.
We actually do have historic Gex decks already, but only back to a certain point. We're adding it further and further back as we go. Talk about what's most important here when trading zero DTs. One of those is just net on the left. The left is the yellow line that you see on the right.
Yeah. The one on the right is most important. Everybody will have their own different thing. I really like the IV curve, and I talked a little bit about that earlier.
So not all tickers will be in GS, at least not initially. We do want to add all the important ones, obviously. I think what we have right now already represents like 90% of the delta in the total options market. But every once in a while,
96.
yeah, every once in a while, some of those R2K stocks creep up a bit and run the gamut of their options chain. And we'll try to get those added as quickly as possible as they pop up and remove them as they disappear.
Yeah, I just want you to know, what we really love is on like a massive market move day, We love it when you guys are like, hey, can you put the stock that has 8 options open on it on your website and get a history going back 3 years and get that done while you're also dealing with monumental volume flow before the next day opens. Yeah, we love that. We love it. I can get you the Dillard's options chain right now. Done.
Wait, I don't want people to see my 3 calls.
What? Wait, does Dillard's have an options chain now?
It got rid of it a long time ago, I thought.
Yeah. Just, I don't know. I've just been
Nope.
SPX executing recently just because that's what we're spending a lot of time deving and trying to get right.
I mean, a lot of days I see very little incentive to trade anything that's not SPX.
Oh yeah, BOJ's coming. How are the ball? Have we checked on this guy's balls?
2 minutes.
Is it just gonna come out of the ether, or is there gonna be like a press release or something?
Yeah, well, hopefully it's on time. Otherwise, I'm going to be very bored.
I mean, Nikkei already leaked it like a week ago, and nobody cared. Or was it earlier this week?
It's been like every day for the last week and a half.
Maple Dork is in Indiana drinking. Presumably with other people, but no proof of that. Why is he in Indiana? Nobody knows.
Oh, slot machine's coming back.
All right, I lied. I have one more question.
All right,
And if you want to cut me off for the BOJ decision, no problem.
that's fine.
I can always
Just
ask
gonna
this
see
another time.
futures go up or down or not.
Fair point. We all got our charts out. So this isn't a GS related question, but like when you're looking at overall like portfolio management from like not really like mostly from like the idea of like a portfolio manager, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
When you're looking at the bond market, what are some signs that it's a good time to rotate into bonds? Because that's one of my biggest fears when it comes to rotating like my cash reserves is entering the bond market and just stepping on the railroad tracks while the train's just running hot.
You're kind of asking a question that sort of is assuming that there is some conventional wisdom that will be valuable here, and I don't think that's the case. Which
That's
is
no problem then.
kind of scary, but I mean, you can just imagine that if something happens in the stock market, everyone's going to run to bonds, whether it makes sense or not. So the question is how long will that last, and will those people get buried under the debt that is growing underneath? Yeah, I've kind of tried to game my own strategy when that starts happening, but I still waffle back and forth about what I'm going to do, just because we've never really dealt with this kind of scenario that we're in now. I mean, right? I mean, look, like remember when everybody was going crazy thinking like, oh, we had yield curve inversion. There's never been a yield curve inversion that didn't end in a recession before it recovered, and here we are at the recovery of the yield curve inversion.
Yeah.
Without a recession, right? And so there's just all these things that people are trying to go on based on like historical norms that just don't matter anymore because we're in a completely different environment.
Yeah. No,
I mean,
that makes sense because I was mostly just like gaming it before, where like just looking at the chart and going like, oh, like the 6 month is above 5%. I'd be happy with 5%.
So yeah, I mean the 6 month was over 5%.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and everybody is in money markets earning interest and inflating the money supply even more. The real question, I mean, like the last time the 30-year hit 5, I mean, that's when everybody just started buying again. So there is some reflexivity to try to come in and get those historically good yields. The question is historically good, does that matter now, or have things changed? I think things have changed, but that's a big risk, right? Because a lot of people are going to be reflexive and go with what used to exist.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I just wasn't sure if there was something I was maybe missing, or
I mean,
if,
Girk should
yeah.
chime in absolutely because he's a better trader than I am. I'm just trying to think about it from.
I mean, this isn't even really trading. This is like capital allocation and portfolio
Yeah,
management question.
fair.
As someone who's done that in the past, I would say that bonds are usually viewed by portfolio managers more as a tool. You know, you have capital allocation requirements of your clients that, and capital preservation desires of your clients that you have to take into consider when extending risk. And one of the ways to hedge that is generally bonds. But if I were running like a 60-40 fund and I wanted to know when to go from 61 to 40 the other, I would probably look for, signs that long-term inflation was trending down, that we were going to move into a market where yields would be declining. And, in that market, you generally have kind of an inverse reaction in equities, right? Where you're looking at, total earnings yield would also be declining in PEs, and you'd get margin compression, and PEs would go down, which kind of slows growth, right?
Yeah.
And in a slower growth environment, you tend to see credit spreads tighten really beneficially, and you also tend to see those yields go down, so the underlying value of the bonds you're purchasing is going up, and that's really what they're looking at. They're not looking at that. They're generally not looking at just the yield. They're like, I'll buy this debt at this yield because this yield covers X amount of my risk over that time period. But they're also looking at the value of the bond and how that's going to improve over time. And that's what's kept a lot of the big banks out of bonds, is that in our current situation, there's not a lot of confidence that yields are going to go down. And that's a big reason that so many people are in equities, because even though, maybe the earnings yield is declining, the value of bonds, especially if you're buying large numbers of them, is still going down. So you're kind of buying something as it's crashing,
Yeah.
which isn't really something people want to stuff a ton of their capital into. And I think if things get turned around a little bit and long run inflation expectations start to fall, and we really truly move into an environment where credit spreads can tighten up, then that would probably be, when to go long bonds. I mean, I just trade them, right? They hit like 5-6%. I start DCAing. If they go higher, awesome. I don't care. Like, I'll live on the yield, right? And then, in our current environment, that's been met with the Fed reacting and sending those yields back down again, right? Every time. And so I'm just like buying the bottom and like hoping the Fed mean reverts the shift in yields over the prior like quarter and a half, and then I just sell them again because I make like 20-30% on the whole bundle of bonds I've bought.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. Thank you so much. I appreciate that again.
No problem. What the fuck's going on with Japan? Is it not out yet?
I don't know how much I got left in me. My house is about to explode. I need to go yell at everyone to quiet them down.
Still no rate decision. Yeah, you can run off if you want to.
What are they waiting for?
I mean, this happened last time. They deliberated until like 11. Oh, we got a
How have they
question.
not already made this decision? Oh, let's do it.
Well, they're deciding the fate of the FX markets right now between like 6 decrepit elderly Japanese vampires. You remember the like Japanese vampire clan from Blade?
Yeah.
And they're all really old. That's how I imagine the Bank of Japan.
It's probably pretty accurate. The only thing that you're missing is that they're all just like liquidizing their balls right now.
I forgot. Hombre, what's up?
What's up, bad hombre?
Hey, just wanted my 5 minutes of fame.
You got it.
Got it.
No,
How are
no,
we
it's not-
saying the
it ha-
same
it ha-
thing?
It
I don't
has
like
not
this.
been 5 minutes. It's only like 10 seconds so far.
Should I pull out a stopwatch? Or do you have a, do you have a
I
question?
got one myself. Don't worry about that.
All right.
And once I start talking, you're gonna need a stopwatch. No, I'm joking. But Jay Fresh, first off, you're so tired. What, you got kids?
Yeah, I got kids. You want some?
No, I have some of my own. Thank you very much.
You
Suck
looking
the
for
life
kids? I
out
got
of me.
kids.
No.
Whoa.
Try.
Save it for the Getty Center.
No,
He didn't
all
mean
that
it that way.
screaming in
He
the
did not mean
background
that way.
are not
meant
my
like-
children.
A different way. He
Those
was
aren't my
willing
kids.
to
Those
donate
are
one of
somebody
the.
else's kids.
No, I'm joking. No. But I like what you said that. You said something that you were brought down and came back stronger. Something to that effect.
Yeah.
But more like more powerful type. It's called cynicism, no?
Yeah.
More cynic, more truthful to whatever it is.
Yes, sir. It is.
It happened to me myself. But Kirk, I always wanted to have the opportunity to ask you something because you are quite a genius. All your numbers.
Thanks,
Don't
man.
understand everything that you say, but
I think I'm a
But,
retard,
man.
but I appreciate that.
nah, you're not a retard. Just far from retard. That's what I was saying. Thank God they did not allow you to travel on time because you would destroy the earth.
That's very
You
nice
would
of you
become
to say.
too powerful.
Evil Gherk.
Yeah, I don't want to see an evil Gherk.
Chaotic Gherk.
I like a
Chaotic
teaching
evil
Gherk.
Gherk.
I like a teaching Gherk. But, and I'm sorry, I don't have a. I'm not very smart, but I want to know how do you? I mean, if you can explain it.
Hmm.
I know when you pick a stock, let's say in your billionaire things, right?
Uh-huh.
How do you? And I don't mean to sound. How do you say this word? When, like you think the world's against you? A conspiracy. It's not a conspiracy type of question, but how do you pick a stock that you know is kind of being attacked, right? It's being shorted per se,
Mhm.
but you know it has a future. Like you know it,
Like, how do you find deep fucking value?
yeah, how do you find that deep fucking value, but without knowing that, deep fucking value could be destroyed as well.
Yeah, sure.
It could be drowned. How do you? Do I explain myself good? I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I kind of.
Like, where do you get that clue of? Is it bonds? It's not earnings because sometimes they're drowning, but
Yeah.
I notice you get that gift of knowing that.
I mean, I mean, let me try to explain this because I think you're looking for more a philosophical than a technical answer here.
Well, it's technical yet philosophical.
Yeah, it's a bit of both.
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking for an
The technicals could be
aberration.
there, but I could come up with a technical company that but you will somehow come ahead because you pick that company that it can back.
So I mean, the first things I would say that you need to know to approach valuation is you really got to understand whatever company you're looking at. Like if you're really looking for a company that's distressed, it's, not the value in it being perceived by the market does not meet the actual value of the company. To find those companies, you've really got to understand how those businesses operate, because there's a ton of them. There's a ton of underpriced stocks any given day.
Yeah.
You can go find thousands of them, and most of them,
Correct.
the vast majority of them, are complete shit. They're gonna fail. That's why people
Yeah.
are shorting them. The shorts are right. They're doing a good job removing the riffraff from our capital markets. But occasionally, shorts are wrong, and you've got to get in there and you've got to analyze the company, and you've got to figure out their management, their strategy. You've got to look at where they can gain ground in their market and where they can find profitability. And the more you dig into it, the more you're going to understand their business. The more you're going to start to think, oh, what if they did, if they did this, then this could happen. If they took this route, then, and you can start to see, the potential strategies that the company can take to improve their current lot. And sometimes it's not that hard. Sometimes you have something like Upstart, where the market just
There
doesn't.
you go. One.
Yeah.
That was. There's two companies that hustle the shit out of me. Picks of yours, Upstart and Fubo. I know they're trending lately, yes, but I don't understand why you saw in Fubo. You're not a sports guy.
I'm not. No.
You're not, but you saw the value in it, and not the value, but like you saw the. I don't know if there's much value in it, but you saw the strategy, the use. I don't know, something.
I thought Fubo was, I thought the management was doing a good job at the time that I first bought in. And I thought the management was really well incentivized to continue doing a good job. And I saw a market potential, which I think the market wasn't realizing behind Fubo, and that, we have a significant number of Latin Americans in this country, and more and more every day.
That's how I know that you were not, because I'm Hispanic. I like soccer, but
yeah. I mean, I don't watch any
of those things.
Yeah, I don't watch any of sports, but that's a big audience and if you look around at the other streaming platforms, that audience is not addressed. And Fubo was the only one really in a position to address that audience. They were already working deals with like Telemundo. They were trying to get more streaming rights with the World Cup and with the football clubs that people were interested in seeing. And their ability, what really turned me on to them the first time was their ability to pick up deals for streaming rights from these sports teams was significantly better than any of their peers. So whoever was out on the ground, making the deals to find sports broadcasting rights for Fubo, even with their limited budget, was doing a phenomenal job continuing to bring new content to the platform. And in an environment where you're only as good as how much new content you can generate, even though Fubo was really small and very undervalued and indebted, they were doing a fantastic job securing that content and securing those rights. And those rights are gold. If you have those, and those are not something that you can, those aren't going to show up on the balance sheet, right? They're a very like obscure asset, but they are a very real asset in that specific sector. And so, I started to dig into their financials, and I'm like, this is bad, but it's not that bad. Like they could survive though. And the management was, heavily encouraged to move towards that positive EBIT, and they had a plan to get there. They were gonna start advertising, streaming rights, or they were gonna start advertising, and try to lower the per month cost for the users, which was gonna bring a larger load of users on board because people could get that that ad discounted subscription plan. And that worked. They're still rolling that out, actually. But And they were going to cut the sports betting off, which I didn't like at first, but it made sense.
Yeah,
And
but
that
now
freed
they're
up.
reaping the benefits of whatever deals they did before.
Yeah. Well, they actually, what they did was really even more smart than that, is they positioned themselves in such a way that they could make a claim against these other big rights holders like Fox and Warner Brothers and Disney, and say these guys are price fixing the market. We're going to sue them. And it was a really, really, really big risk, but Disney bought them out because of it. So it was a pretty big win. And I legitimately
kudos
thought
to you.
someone else
Kudos
would.
to you. It's just impressive that I know you stream all day, right?
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, you're a one-man team. That's I don't know anything, but it's not like you're going to. You're not having meetings with these CEOs.
No.
Like a lot of other financial firms do.
Yeah.
I go meet with this guy. How the fuck do you find that?
Just research.
I just keep listening to you, I guess.
I appreciate it.
You're good. You're good. You're good. I mean, it's impressive.
Thanks. I appreciate that. I do have an entire team of guys that work with me. J-Fresh being one of them.
All guys, because women are spies.
Yeah, of course. Our company's not got a problem with diversity at all. But no,
we have a baby HR department that's more diverse than anybody.
Yeah, nobody has that actually. So no, that's it just used to be like my job.
And keep going, keep doing what you're doing, because you really taught me a lot. I'm sure the whole community. You taught so many things that we would have never known wasn't for you, because you never were. I don't know. You are who you are. Fuck it. You like it, you're good. You don't like it, good too. Fuck it. I'm not selling nothing else other than my speech. And I like it.
I appreciate that, man. That means a lot.
Clap to that one. That was a nice little back and forth between you two.
But
all right, we got another person ready to speak.
Again, thank you for the time, man.
Yeah, of course, man. Anytime.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Thanks. Good luck, guys. Bye.
Bye. I wonder if we're gonna get a fucking decision. Are they just not gonna decide tonight? Is that their fucking plan? What is this bullshit? What's up, NW? How you doing, man?
Yo, man. Not much. I just want to say that, like, you and the team and everybody, you are the premier educators, like, in the stock space right now. If you look on the internet, can you find anyone else that's doing anything even fucking close to this? Like,
no, that's why we're so awesome.
I don't know. Like, like, people are going to be like, oh, he's getting on his knees, like he's sucking your dick or whatever. But, like, guys, like, this is fucking amazing, like, what you're doing. So, like, I just want you to know, like, that's it,
man.
I really don't have anything else to say here.
Doing it for us, not for you.
I know you are, J-Fresh, whatever. I'll still follow you on Twitter, and, like, every one of your posts is fine. Don't worry about it.
I just like making people uncomfortable on Twitter.
Yeah, it's awesome. And you know what's great, or what's honestly not that great, is no one ever replies to you, really. Like, that has anything, like, useful to say, which is so disappointing. Like,
yeah, that's Twitter. Yeah. I get advertisements to boost my replies by paying Twitter money, so then I'll get more engagement or something. I don't understand what that's about. That sounds weird.
Yuck. Like, fuck that.
Twitter's just kind of a broken platform, but I like screaming into the void.
Yeah, I mean, but, like, even though it's a broken platform, like, what's the better option? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I don't care.
Yeah. That's really all I got to say, guys, as I'm waiting for this print. So, I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much, and I will continue to, follow along and keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much, NW. Appreciate it, man.
Be good. Yep.
Potato salad. What's up, man?
Not much, man. It's late, so I can't be too loud because I don't want to wake up my folks. But I was wondering, you mentioned SPX and SPXW being different contracts. If
Mhm.
we're in the environment of, say, positive gamma
Mhm.
on SPXW, which I think is the daily, and we're in, say, negative gamma on the SPX,
That
which is
happened
a bit
today.
more longer term. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one has more importance on the hedging? I guess it's the one
Okay.
with less
Well, so
data.
you have to aggregate the gamma and delta exposures of both, and since the SPXW was so grossly positive, it puts the total exposures positive, despite the SPX chain still having, negative like skew adjusted delta. Um, in aggregate, they were both like it was the positive skew adjusted delta on the SPXW was enough that the whole index is positive gamma. There are a couple instances where you will end up where like SPXW's or SPX is very negative gamma and SPXW is moving towards positive. Sometimes on like really sharp reversals you'll see that. Generally speaking, most of the volume and stuff is on the like the SPXW chain, and most of the like OI that's just sitting is on SPXW. The weight, or SPX rather, the monthly. The weight of the monthly contract is huge. So like the neutral levels for the SPX contract are very, very important because there's so much the positioning there is so much larger than anything on the weekly contract. But the weekly contract has a lot of gamma. And so that drives a lot of short-term pricing. And the SPX drives the longer-term pricing generally.
No, that makes perfect sense. And I guess SPXW being more important yesterday. I mean, it's 3 a.m. here. Yesterday, is that because we just had the OPEX and a decrease in leverage? So that means that I guess the SPXW was what ended up having more total exposure, or
Yeah,
is that me
that's
just
correct.
extrapolating from nonsense? Okay, good. Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
I
a
don't have anything more than that then.
okay. I hope that helped.
Well, no, that's good.
All right, awesome. Good talking to you, Salad.
Take care.
Later, man. All right, so we got the BOJ. Is this the BOJ decision? 0.5? Holy shit. Yep. Well, they did it. Nothing's happening. This is magical. Hmm. All right, well. Yeah, it's a 0.25 increase, but it means that their rate is moving to 0.25 to 5. Poor Todd. The lack of reaction is kind of surprising right now.
We went 0.5. We did it.
They did it. They hiked.
The ball punching has finally ceased.
Yeah, Yuta survived the ball torture, and he was allowed to raise rates.
Ooh. What are we gonna do? Is the party over?
We'll have to see.
USD JPY is going up.
Yes.
Did we misinterpret what's happening? Did it definitely go up?
Yeah, they definitely raised rates.
Why is it going up? Short squeeze?
Maybe.
You gotta call
I think-
call back your
What's really
buy short.
well, what's really important here is the baseline rate moves up from 0 now,
Yeah.
which they backed off of in August because they almost crashed everything. They were like, "Oh wait, we're actually sorry. We'll let the baseline be 0, so we'll do 0 to 0.25." But now it's 0.25 to 0.5, which is a big fucking shift. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens here, but usually FX markets would be more reactive. The volume's quite high. But that's it. Yeah, I mean, they made the decision. It's the same like Fed cutting. My puts expire tomorrow. It needs to happen. Give it a minute. It just came out. It would appear that the gain is not holding.
So everything's kind of just going up. How does that work? Is the dollar up?
Dollar's down.
Oh, there we go. How does that? All right.
Oh, now the dollar's down against the yen. Almost. Now it is.
There we go.
In the past, I've noticed that big shocks to the market tend to sometimes develop like this. They're not always instantaneous.
Yeah, high vol. Sometimes it's unpredictable at very short times. Oh, turning back up. Got to make sure the dollar goes up. Oh, market's doing a little bit of a poopy. We'll start of a little pooperoonie.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Now we're starting to get some. There, yeah, volume's picking up to the downside.
Oh, there we go. Look at that little candle. Look at that volume go.
Oh, it's not priced in. There we go. Much better. Yes. That was the 5 seconds of 5 seconds of panic. And now shit can get weird. Play the song, Gherkins. We'll see how it ends up. We got all night for this to develop, and we got the EU market open. We're gonna see more with that reaction. We're gonna see more as we get into the earlier part of the day. But I would say that this is not bullish for tech at all. This is effectively another rate cut by the Fed, and a leveraged rate cut at that. So we may see yields at the top end of the curve move up pretty sharply on the back of this, and most importantly, what it should do is drive the dollar down. The dollar is up quite a lot right now, so we'll see how that goes. The dollar's been dropping pretty steadily in the overnight session here. It's actually down quite a bit, but I think it closed at 108. But yeah, seeing it fall below the supportive level at like 107. Slide a little further down would be interesting. We haven't been below like 107.60 since December, so yeah, could be impactful. More fun for the 10-year 3-month. Yeah, I mean, also the 10-2. It's bullish for Fixie, yes.
I want more. This isn't enough. Poop board. Ew.
It's not
Oh,
a very.
going back.
It's not the most fun reaction.
It's going back up again.
It's just. Yeah.
Basically flat.
It's not flat.
I want my money back.
You didn't spend any.
Oh, it's positive now. Cool. Yeah, I wasted 2.5 hours of my life trying to wait for this.
Oh, we give it time. Last time we went up like 130 BPS on ES, and then we fucking tanked like a rock. Like a few days later.
Yeah, it should be fun.
What's a weaker dollar? The market kind of expects this, right? No, not at current valuations. If the dollar is weaker, mega caps are massively overvalued.
Stop showing me charts. I don't want to look at them. I'm tired and I'm grumpy. It's been a long day. And nothing's going down. Nobody's feeling pain. Nobody's suffering financially. It makes me angry.
Give it time.
No, do not add axes. Don't label anything. Just random bars. That's what we do here.
All right. Well,
No, Trash. I don't want you to suffer financially.
Suffering financially does not help. He means the rich people. He wants the rich people to suffer financially.
Yeah, the rich assholes. I'm not an old man. I'm a middle-aged grumpy man.
You're not even middle-aged.
When's middle age?
Like 40 something?
Yeah, I'm 38.
You're older than me.
I know. We've
You're like-
already established this.
You're like my daddy.
I
You're
don't
older-
like that. You're everybody else's daddy. Then that means I'm everybody's granddaddy.
Grandpappy
like
J
that.
Fresh. Just sitting in his rocker with his shotgun. Fucking kids in
Just
my yard.
screaming at the USD JPY being flat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right, actually.
Is there maybe a
just
period
need,
of time before
yes
changes in
bounce.
exposure are required to be made? Yeah, I'm sure there's some amount of time for implementation by the Bank of Japan but the bond market should react right away.
Also, didn't they like pretend to raise last time and then they saw like people freak out and so they like worked it back?
Yeah, they pulled it back.
Yeah, so I think everybody else is just like, yeah, they'll just pull it back. They're bluffing. Which is par for the course with centralized money management in the world these days.
Nikkei fucking tapped like 40K today. Nikkei is kind of coming down a little from its high. It's quite high though. Jesus.
Yep. It's coming down. Look at it go.
YouTube Nans would like to know, is this something that will have an immediate effect, over time effect? Both. But there should be more of an immediate effect. It's weird that there isn't right away. It could just be like low liquidity, it's nighttime, people are not reacting strongly, and overnight volume will start to pick up as we move towards the EU session and stuff. I'm gonna tell my kids this is J Fresh. That is J Fresh.
Yeah.
Can you show us on the chart the previous reaction in the market? Yeah. So If I remember correctly, this was the hike. Like right in here. What day was it on? I think it was on. Hmm. I think it was on like July 10th or 11th, something like that. July 31st. Oh, it was here. So yeah, this was the cut, and that was the following day. But the reaction in like USD, JPY, or Nikkei was, I think, pretty immediate. It's the 31st. Yeah, it was like right here. So it ran up a little. Let's see, that would have been like 10 o'clock. And then dumped like a fucking bag of bricks. So just need more of that. We'll see.
6,200 end of week. Let's go.
Is Kenny on the phone bailing out the shorts again? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, Cobra, the market expected it for like a week ago when they like hinted at it through the Japanese media, and they didn't do anything then either. So nobody's actually like hedged for it.
Yeah, nobody's like, even the last decision where it was like unknown if they would raise or not, they pulled back on like overall leverage quite a bit. Like this was the last decision back in December, and leverage pulled back a ton, and then they were like, oh, they're not cutting, and then they pumped leverage up again. But leverage is crazy fucking high right now.
Yes, it is. Well, we went down 8 bips. I think that's about right. It's about what I expected from that decision.
Yeah, I just want to wake up to everything bathed in red. Anyway, yeah, we'll see how it plays out. What if they just shorted the long end of the USA curve to hedge it? They're long the long end of the US curve. What the fuck are they going to short it?
Yeah, they can't possibly just magically flip that position short.
Yeah.
What are bond rates doing?
That's literally the margin. Like you're talking.
They're going down.
What?
Yeah, that makes sense. Bond rates.
Oh, I mean they're barely moving. It's overnight. They're not even like trading much.
I love it.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Cool.
Yeah, you're just thinking about it backwards. All right. Well, that's it for tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate all the questions and the fun stories. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yep. See you guys. Thanks.
Later.